I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, you know, and how he was acting, being that, you know, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, you know, we was all cool at one point in time. And
now remember this.
Sounds familiar.
No. I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now, imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36 and we fight.
24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because of the undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a...
During a recent live interview, Terence Crawford confidently spoke about his own legacy and addressed Floyd Mayweather's role in the sport. He asserted that Mayweather's era has come to an end and declared that this generation belongs to him. Crawford made it clear that the spotlight should now shift away from the past and focus on the present, where he stands as a new face of boxing. With conviction, he portrayed himself as a torchbearer leading the sport into the future.
Jake and Tyson and you know, some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, you know, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, you know, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
So you don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Floyd Mayweather reminded fans that he had already defeated Canelo Alvarez when Canelo was a younger fighter, underscoring his own experience and skill in the ring. He suggested that Terence Crawford's recent win over Canelo shouldn't be overly glorified, since both fighters share victories over the same opponent. From Floyd's perspective, his own victory still holds more weight, and Crawford's success doesn't surpass what Mayweather accomplished during his career.
Canelo is a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. And everyone is now saying that he's not the same fighter. He's not looking the same. Now remember this.
Sounds familiar.
No. I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now, imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36 and we fight. And now what y'all gonna say, well, now he got what? I don't know how many fights he got.
Some boxing analysts argue that it's still too early to place Terence Crawford in the same category as Floyd Mayweather, largely because Crawford hasn't matched Floyd's perfect 50-0 record. They claim that beating top names like Canelo Alvarez, while impressive, isn't enough to surpass Mayweather's legacy that a challenge often brought up is David Benavidez, a powerful, bigger fighter who many believe could truly test Crawford's greatness. According to critics, if Crawford were to move up in weight and defeat someone as dangerous as Benavidez, it would prove not just his skill, but his fearlessness. Until then, some experts believe Crawford may fall just short of Mayweather's legendary status, regardless of his current accomplishments.
Look at Floyd's record, right? Floyd's legacy is 50-0, 24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because of the undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford, but both of their best wins are Canelo Alvarez. Canelo was a younger, greener Canelo when Floyd beat him time, Bud beat an older, slower, but more seasoned Canelo. Now, Bud's not going to surpass Floyd because of the record. He's not going to make 50-0. Bud has to separate himself. What he has to do is do something that Floyd didn't do. Take on the challenges that people were scared for you to take. Just that's what separates Leonard and Durant from the rest. If Bud Crawford beats David Benavidez, he will surpass Floyd Mayweather as far as on the all-time list. As of right now, if Bud Crawford retires, I would have him somewhere around the top 5, top 7.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia has a differing take on the situation. He doesn't believe Terence Crawford will put his legacy on the line by agreeing to a fight with David Benavidez. In Garcia's eyes, Crawford is a calculated and intelligent competitor, one who knows how to secure his legacy without stepping into high-risk territory. Benavidez, known for his size and power, presents a dangerous challenge that could endanger Crawford's undefeated streak. Garcia argues that there's more to lose than gain, especially since Crawford's achievements have already solidified his status in the sport. This outlook feeds into a broader conversation in boxing. Is it smarter to chase legacy through high-stakes matchups or to safeguard an elite, nearly untarnished record?
There's no way. Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. But it is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
Jeff Mayweather, uncle of Floyd Mayweather, weighed in with his perspective, saying that although Terence Crawford clearly outclassed Canelo Alvarez, the win shouldn't be viewed as the ultimate benchmark of greatness. He emphasized that Canelo is no longer in his prime, pointing out a noticeable decline in both the precision and power of his punches. Jeff also mentioned that before the fight, Crawford faced criticism for the perceived lack of elite opponents on his resume. And even after a dominant performance against Canelo, some still minimize the significance of the win. In Jeff's view, while Crawford's victory was certainly noteworthy, it needs to be understood within the proper context. Canelo wasn't at his peak, and that fact tempers the overall weight of the accomplishment.
Canelo knocks him out in the first half of the fight because he couldn't handle the power. Right. And obviously that proved not to be, or to be the case, that Crawford could definitely handle the power. Were you surprised that, didn't look like, maybe once or twice looked like maybe Crawford felt it, but never in any kind of real trouble?
Yeah, I don't think that Canelo really hit him. I mean, he hit him a couple times clean, but I mean, Crawford, Crawford's a big guy too. Crawford took it like it was nothing. I mean, he hit Canelo a few times. I mean, and Canelo took it as well. So I mean, basically, at the end of the day, I mean, they both took decent shots from each other, but Crawford just didn't get hit as much as Canelo did.
Do you think that was a case of you can't Canelo's a guy that's not out there throwing huge combinations, that he's more of a punch at a time kind of guy, and that's not going to work against someone as slick and talented as Bud Crawford?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, basically, Canelo was looking for just one big shot, trying to land a big shot on Crawford, but Crawford wasn't having it. And Crawford at times would say, I guess he would say to himself, I need to, do a little more work. And basically, and it seemed like he just did that. And
Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back when discussing Floyd Mayweather's legacy. He offered a sharp critique, suggesting that outside of his bout with Canelo Alvarez, Mayweather often avoided the top-tier fighters of his generation when they were at their peak. Jones raised doubts about Floyd being widely regarded as the greatest, pointing out that many of his opponents were either naturally smaller, past their prime, or not at their best when they face him. In his view, the legendary status often attached to Mayweather may be somewhat overstated. While Jones acknowledged that Floyd's undefeated record is impressive, he believes the timing and quality of his matchups leave room for criticism, especially when measured against more adaptable fighters like Terence Crawford.
Is Floyd Mayweather top 5?
No, not in my book. No,
not even top 10?
Maybe top 10 in my book, Kevin. Not top 5. He's maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he's going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further,
he fought Cotto.
Cotto was not on his level. Wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And is Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great. All right, so that's not great fight. That's not on your level. Pacquiao, you waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them biggest, best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo?
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not gonna say who
because I can't name a person.
I'm not gonna say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was of his equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James Toney.
An independent analyst drew a clear line between fame and pure boxing skill, while acknowledging Floyd Mayweather's unparalleled global following, thanks to his undefeated career and huge pay-per-view draws. He suggested that when it comes strictly to talent, Terence Crawford might have the edge. Crawford's natural southpaw stance, paired with his exceptional ability to switch seamlessly between stances during a fight, makes him incredibly adaptable against any challenger. This level of versatility has led many experts to argue that Crawford's technical prowess could even outshine Mayweather's. This ongoing debate raises a bigger question in boxing circles. Is true greatness defined by worldwide popularity and financial success, or by skill and in-ring adaptability?
Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ. And not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far. And I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Former world champion Shane Mosley shared a clear comparison between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. He pointed out that Crawford's natural size advantage is something Mayweather never possessed. Being bigger by nature allows Crawford to perform effectively across multiple weight classes while retaining his power and strength. Mosley acknowledged Mayweather's genius in defense and timing, but highlighted that Crawford's physical gifts enable him to overpower opponents in ways Mayweather simply couldn't. For Mosley, this physical disparity makes it difficult to fairly compare the two fighters, as Crawford's build opens doors that weren't available to Floyd.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually moving weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford this.
Jeff Mayweather reminded fans that when Floyd Mayweather took on Canelo Alvarez, Canelo was already past his prime. Despite being older, slower, and less sharp than in his earlier years, Floyd dominated the fight using his superior experience, defense, and ring intelligence. This perspective sheds light on the different contexts of Floyd's and Crawford's wins over Canelo. Jeff emphasized that while Crawford faced a more seasoned Canelo, Floyd's victory came against an opponent who was no longer at his best, which in his view makes Floyd's achievement particularly impressive. For Jeff, this context solidifies Floyd's legacy as unparalleled, even as Crawford continues to rack up wins.
Also, if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he took him, into deep waters. So
yeah, what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
Well, Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people, but
Are you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it sure was. And that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
But don't you?
To make himself look like he did something great.
Terence Crawford has addressed the comparisons between himself and Floyd Mayweather directly. He respects all that Floyd has accomplished and acknowledges that his legacy is firmly established. However, Crawford points out that Mayweather was a product of his time, and like all eras, it eventually gives way to the next. He believes that greatness isn't meant to last indefinitely. Instead, each generation will rise and claim the spotlight as a defining fighter of their era. While showing deep respect for Floyd's achievements, Crawford confidently positions himself as a face of today's boxing landscape.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
No.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you wouldn't, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore, so that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Beat your
Okay, that's a no.
Trainer Greg Hackett praised Terence Crawford following his win over Canelo Alvarez, calling it a victory that firmly established Crawford's legacy as even greater than Canelo's. However, Hackett was quick to clarify that this achievement doesn't place Crawford above Floyd Mayweather. He emphasized that while the Canelo triumph is a defining moment in Crawford's career, it doesn't diminish Floyd's accomplishments built over many years. According to Hackett, Crawford's dominant performance deserves plenty of respect, but any comparisons to Mayweather should be approached with caution given Floyd's extensive and proven track record.
Because you gotta remember, Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Right. Damn. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit gotta make sense. Like you said, you beat a shark and then you beat a wolf.
Yeah.
But there's the monster.
Yeah, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, to me it don't make sense. But that's
really
what
a monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend. But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah, get a line of suits. Get a line of suits, get your money, man. Go away and get the easy money, bro. You ain't gotta sweat no more.
What's up,
Not saying you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta sweat. He's paved a career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody, the fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's cause when a guy see himself up here and then is fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore, when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious, and he's like, man, this ain't even that. But your coach like, listen, you can get fucked up. I'm telling you, you don't want to listen. Then you go in there and fight that guy. Then you get. I seen it happen.
Former champion Sean Porter discussed the significance of Terence Crawford's victory over Canelo on his podcast. He highlighted that Crawford didn't just rise to the occasion. He thoroughly dominated Canelo in a way that surprised many. Porter believes his fight demonstrated Crawford's ability to excel across multiple weight divisions and against a variety of fighting styles. Throughout the bout, Crawford displayed exceptional adaptability, technical skill, and mental toughness at the sport's highest level.
Podcast for Jake and Tyson, and you know, some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, you know, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, you know, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to pull the public, and then make an adjustment.
You don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
One of Terence Crawford's most remarkable achievements, and what truly sets him apart, is becoming the first boxer to hold undisputed titles in 3 different weight classes. This feat highlights not only his incredible versatility, but also his sustained excellence throughout various phases of his career. Very few fighters in boxing history have managed to dominate so thoroughly across multiple divisions. This accomplishment firmly cements Crawford's legacy and guarantees his spot among the sport's all-time greats, regardless of any comparisons to Floyd Mayweather.
Terence Bud Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez and becomes the first ever male 3-division undisputed champion in boxing history. Thank God the judges got this one right. But wow, what a technical battle this was. It was a very close fight, but as it went on, Terence was getting more and more comfortable in there. I remember in the 7th round, he even stood right in front of Canelo and fought him on the inside. Then in rounds 9 through 12, Crawford really started to open up on his flurries, gaining Canelo's respect. But the reason Crawford won this fight was because he was surprisingly durable at 168. He was able to do his thing because for the 36 minutes he was in there with Canelo, he was never really worried about what was coming back at him. I mean, Canelo just kept going to Terence's right side of his body, and that stung a couple times, but those were the really only hard shots Canelo landed. Unfortunately, this is terrible for Canelo's legacy because the smaller men beat him up. And Canelo's kind of been cherry picking his opponents the last couple years. But well deserved for Terence Crawford. It's gonna look amazing on his legacy. Boxing got it right tonight. On the biggest stage, with the most eyeballs, no controversy, just pure sport. And one of the best ever at the sport got it done tonight, Terence Bud Crawford.
That wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for more.